So this movie was just unexpected, you know? That is really like the word that comes to mind. So I remember seeing this one just kind of on like a random weekend, and I'd seen the poster for it, and it looked kind of interesting, and I knew it was directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Kevin Williamson. He wrote Scream. I'm a big fan of Scream, huge fan of Scream actually. But anyway, so I figured, okay, let's just give it a shot. And so I watched it and I really enjoyed it. This is kind of like that fun, kind of off the walls movie that you've been looking for. When Casey Connor, Harrington High School's newspaper photographer, witnesses the murder of a nurse and sees her alive again, he decides to investigate the bizarre happenings. So first off, this movie came out like in the mid to late 90s, which, in my personal opinion, is like one of the golden eras of just movies in general. This is like smack dab in the middle of all of these like slasher films that are coming out in the 90s. So something I really love about this movie is that it really feels like there's like a mixture of like a slasher, almost like Scream Queen kind of vibe mixed in with like science fiction elements, And I'm sure, the filmmakers, when they made this, they weren't thinking like, oh, let's mix science fiction elements with a slasher. Like, I'm sure they're just trying to, make something interesting, and this is what came out. But, still, I just really love movies that have like a mixture of feels like this, movies that aren't just one genre. They're like a mixture of things together.
This is bro, what the fuck? Please! Help me! I can't breathe!
So as you can see, it's got this like weirdly, funny vibe to it. But it's also like serious as well, And I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing pretty hard when I first saw this scene, because it's like you're kind of watching it and you're like, okay, like, what is going on here? So I'm like, okay, they're both naked in the shower. Like, where is this going?
Okay.
Something I really miss just about, some older movies in general is the camera zoom in. This is a movie that utilizes that really well, and it just adds like just so much to the weird overall vibe of just the whole movie.
Casey, you understand? Casey?
Yeah. Sure.
Some of these scenes just had me crying because it's just stuff that I didn't expect. There's also a movie from 2009 called Drag Me to Hell. That's directed by Sam Raimi. And it has like a very similar scene like this one. Now, I don't know if, Drag Me to Hell in 2009, I don't know if Sam Raimi made that shot as like a homage to The Faculty. I'm not sure. But either way, the scenes are pretty similar. I did a movie review for Drag Me to Hell. That's on my channel, if you want to check that out. So this is the shot that I was talking about, pretty simple. So a lot of deaths in this movie are like very dramatic, but I enjoy that about it. It just makes things more interesting.
Are we sure?
Linda! No, Casey! Don't what's up, Casey? Just do it!
This lady was out here convulsing. Like, she looked like she had that Popeyes biscuit with no drink. So The Faculty, it's one of those classic, interesting movies. It's really well done, especially for something, with science fiction elements that was made in the 90s. This is a really creative movie, and it's a fun watch. I really recommend giving this one a shot. It'll give you some good laughs. It'll probably also gross you out at the same time.
Hello, Ziggy boy. You're too tense, honey. Relax.